Hi, I'm Sophie, and I haven't seen a lot of movies.
Hi, I'm Paul, and I'm here to help with that. And we are
SP Film Viewers.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Sophie. Happy birthday to you.
Yay! I enjoyed that. That's the best opening ever.
Hello, everyone. So here we are once again with another birthday special, number 4.
Yeah. And the best birthday special there is going to be. High praise.
Because what yours is involved.
Because I got to pick the films. That
Yeah.
never happens apart from my birthday, so this feels really special.
Well, not all the time. There's been times in the past.
I get choices.
Yeah.
I don't get to pick.
Outright, no.
No.
Not often. The other occasions, but yeah. Like, You've Got Mail and
I guess,
Pretty...
yeah.
No, Pretty Woman.
Pretty Woman was my birthday.
That was... I was thinking of Dirty Dancing, for example.
Yeah.
Yeah,
True.
yeah.
3 out of, near enough 100
episodes.
episodes.
So, we're going to do what we did, obviously, remember for my birthday, which was covering a film that neither of us have seen.
Mm-hmm.
Then talking about a film that I haven't seen this time, but
yes,
you have.
a film that Paul hasn't seen. Wonder what that could be.
Well, you can tell from the thumbnail, of course. But... and then finally a film that we both have seen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I really love all the films I picked this time. I feel like it's quite a nice balance.
Even the first one?
First one, yeah. You helped me with this one, didn't you? Not gonna lie, you did, because I always struggle with films that I haven't seen to know what to watch.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we were torn between Little Women.
There's Little Women, and Breakfast at Tiffany's was like another option.
Yeah, but I felt like Breakfast at Tiffany's needs its own platform. Like, we just need to just talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's more content in there that we can kind of
probably
do a full episode.
Yeah, I think that's probably worthy of that.
Yeah, I feel like it is, and I've got high hopes for that one,
mm-hmm.
where it'd be like Singing in the Rain. I'm hoping it's on a par.
So I kind of feel slightly bad for maybe swaying your thoughts on choosing this first one anyway. I don't know. It just felt like it's something I wanted to see for a long time, but kind of almost like, well, come on, so it's supposed to be your choice, but.
But then I got payback with the other two, whereas it was like well, if I watch this, then you've got to watch Serendipity.
Yeah.
Because we did have in the bag as well 8 Mile.
Yeah, which would have been a funny one to think, because that actually shocked me when you initially said you had seen that, because it was all on the back burner for a thing down the line, but it's like, oh right, I didn't actually know you'd seen it before.
And I remember it quite clearly, I feel, compared to loads of films that I do watch, and it doesn't kind of stay with me. 8 Mile has stayed with me. I don't know how old I was, but my sister used to love Eminem, and I hated him. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of big on rap music, and Eminem was a big part of that as growing up.
I feel like you and Sarah are roughly the same age though, so I'm wondering if it was popular for your taste at that age as well.
Yeah, I guess it was, yeah.
Whereas I was a couple of years younger, so somebody swearing to me when I was little, I was like, oh no, I don't like it.
Too raw.
Yeah. I remember somebody when I was little wanted me to swear.
Oh, right.
I'm like, go on, say the F word. And I'm like, no, I don't want to, I'll get in trouble. And they were proper, people coaxing you.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't do it. So, I'm a good
well
girl.
done.
Thank you. I don't go into peer pressure, you know what I'm like, Paul?
Yeah, we've spoken about that before, haven't we? With
oh, yeah, we have.
And drugs and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, no, I've got a little halo above my head.
Yeah.
So, the first film, Paul, that you kind of secretly nudged is called?
Her.
Me. I hope not. Well, actually, I wouldn't mind being her, to be fair, because she is Scarlett Johansson's sexy voice.
Yeah, I wish our little Google Hub thing actually had that voice. I'd listen to her talking all day.
I guess. I'm not even going to complain at you saying that. I'm not. Also, I don't want to trigger it off. Google
device. Yeah.
Doesn't know Jack. So it's like, it's so crap, isn't it? You will ask it something, it's like, here is a link. And it's like, no, I want you to tell me. Whereas Samantha is her name, actually answers you. Like, she's having a conversation with you, doesn't she?
Yeah, it's less of just an automated system, like here's a link to something, or
here's what I found
on the web. Yes.
And it does don't get me wrong, I love these kind of things sometimes when you're wanting to know what the weather's like, or I don't know, a random, I use it really badly for like, how many calories is in blah 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 blah, and it just tells me magically, and it's fantastic. But it's also scary at the same time. Like, you're relying on something, you're talking to a machine
to give you the answers. Like, there's times that like, oh, what's this plus this, just to work out basic maths. Sometimes it's kind of like,
yeah, and it's like, well,
so stupid.
What happened to pen to paper added up?
Yeah,
don't seem to have time for these stuff nowadays. Like, what's the weather like? Well, look outside, you'll see what the weather's like.
No, I know what you mean. Yeah.
So this is set kind of in the future. So to
future
speak.
Like this, they always say, don't they? The film was made in 2013 by Spike Jonze, I think is the name of the director's last name. I really like a film of his called Being John Malkovich. That's quite high up for me on there. So I was kind of like intrigued to know what this was all about, because it's one of those like on that scratch off movie poster upstairs. This is on there, and I hadn't seen it, so it's like, oh well, it must be good. I haven't done that yet, but it's like, well, it clearly must be pretty good if it's on one of these, like almost like you must see this film type of thing. But,
is that for her though?
Yes, for her. Yeah, yeah.
So not the other film that you mentioned that I haven't seen.
Yeah.
Is that on the list at some point?
At some point down the line. So we got Joaquin Phoenix playing the lead in this, Theodore, and so a bit of an introvert character, and he's just like very reserved and everything, as you might imagine. And
you pointed out to me as well, just in case nobody did know, and which I didn't know, because I'm one of those where I watch something and I go, I know him. I'm like, I don't know why I know him, and then I will natter you like, what's he been in, Paul? Tell me. I know him. And the same thing kind of happened, didn't I? Where I'm like, you were saying he was the Joker. Obviously, the one where it's obviously going more in depth about actually
the more recent one.
The Joker was the Joker. And I don't know if it's because of the hair colour or because he has to lose so much weight for the Joker.
Yeah.
He looked a little bit completely different. It was just like certain facial features
that made it apparent that he was,
and his voice, I think that was it.
Yeah.
But everything else, it was like, I wouldn't have straight away jumped to that.
But the thing with this, again, this all like near future stuff and everything, so like all the stuff is like on his Bluetooth earpiece kind of thing, so like, tell me the news, and it's like skip.
You do that on our thingy. So so we are getting there with technology. Like, you can listen to Spotify and you can say next and it will go on to the next track. But no, it just seems a bit, it frightens me how technology is going to take over our lives. It will be like WALL-E, where we are on these floating things just sat while everything else is doing everything for us.
Yeah.
And we complain about working, we complain about that, but not having a purpose at all. I feel like I'd miss that. Like, well, why am I here? If technology can do it so much better, what is the purpose of a human?
Exactly, yeah. We obviously still need people to operate certain aspects, because you can't have technology just overruling everything.
Like
it's oh no, it definitely is. There's plenty of films that talk about that kind of like machines taking over and all that thing, but we are becoming more and more reliant on technology doing our jobs.
Somebody would actually be like, now if you go on a bus or a train, the amount of people that will look at their phones instead of actually looking at a person in the eyes.
Yeah.
It's like, literally, it's a no-brainer. Which one are you going to do?
No.
Like, I know you struggle with eye contact anyway. It's like the first time you met me, you wouldn't even look at me. And you probably look at your phone more than you do actual people.
Mm-hmm.
It just frightens me a little bit. And I think this is what this really brought it to me, because the fact of how a phone can connect you to anybody.
Yeah.
And I think this is what this kind of does with Samantha. So it's that connection. So you can be so lonely, but you feel like you're watching everybody else's lives pass you by.
Yeah.
And it goes to that kind of place where Theodore is so lonely. He wants a companionship.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't actually matter if it's actually physically human.
No, yeah, exactly. It's because a lot of people are like, like his work colleagues and stuff, like, oh, let's go on a double date or whatever, or think situations like that, and it's not like outright like, oh, that's a weird scenario for you to be having a relationship with a computer type of.
No, I think it's weird. I'm not gonna lie. The whole idea of not having somebody, but then I guess I'm being hypocritical. Because me and you had I think I spoke to you for 9 months. I made you wait because I didn't want you to kill me in my basement.
Yeah, to be sure.
I had to be sure you were real. And we met online and we were young, so I didn't want to rush into seeing you straight away. So we built up a relationship, and we didn't actually speak on the phone. I don't think we sent many pictures either, to be fair.
No, I don't think so.
We could have thought we were catfishers. And we had a kind of cyber relationship, but not in the sense of you being a computer.
Yeah,
you were a human at the end of it, and I think that's the bit that makes me think that's okay.
Whereas this is just like a AI operating system basically, where it's all that, it's super advanced, but it's.
But you fall in love with something that you are making up in your head.
Yes.
Because this person, the AI or whatever you want to call it, she is learning and developing from Theodore.
Yeah, exactly. She keeps saying like she's evolving type of thing.
I love that. I always kept, straight away when she was saying it, Pokemon popped into my head.
Not quite that. But we are.
Does she need that music behind her when she levels up?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Charmander to Charmeleon to Charizard, yeah.
Like, should she be changing names every time she evolves? It does frighten me and makes me feel like this could be a step where people are falling in love with computers. I do know, like, somebody got married to a brick wall, didn't they, in, like, China or somewhere?
Yeah, this is kind of like one of those stories, and like, you hear those things of, oh, I married a pig or something, and.
But at least somebody marrying the dog. I feel like I understand that a little bit better. You can still touch it. Yeah,
but it's like that's a bit wrong, isn't it? Like with if you're going taking it a bit further than just I'm marrying it just because I like not to do anything sexual act with it.
Yeah, no,
but,
God, no.
I mean, it would hurt to do it with the brick wall, to be fair, but unless you make a hole. But
depends on if you're a man or a woman.
Yeah, I guess.
But I feel like it's more still. I'm not even meaning that. Just like for me, I love a good cuddle.
Yeah.
Like a phone can't hug me.
No, it's very hard to have that kind of intimacy, really, isn't it?
Well, at least a dog, like, I can get it, because at least it's going to show you love back and affection. It's going to greet you at the front door.
Yeah.
And want cuddles, and it's going to go on a walk with you. Whereas he kind of has, like, a little pocket.
Yeah.
So that she can see out to the world. And it just seems a bit, I don't know, I find it really hard to kind of think of it as a love story. Because in the back of my head, it's
a modern, very, very technologically advanced modern love story, but it's there because he's kind of like he's walking around with, like you say, and he's kind of like spin me around, and kind of it's almost like you would do in Bullet Place in
a romance movie, yeah, but that kind of thing. It's still got that bitter sadness behind it for me, definitely.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, like we were on about just a moment ago about like dodgy sex stuff. obviously earlier on, before the film gets going, he's like doing like these nighttime calls stuff, and it's like he's trying to find intimacy there, but then she's like, this other person online's like choking a dead cat.
Like, that's just a turn off, isn't it? Really, come on. Like, I don't like the thought of being choked. Really, that is a complete turn off for me. I don't like that because it feels like you're gonna murder me. Yeah. So like, why the hell would you want that? And also the thought of those lines even be the thing.
Yeah, I know.
I could not feel comfortable at all. Like, unless I know somebody, I just get so embarrassed.
I know, yeah.
Like, I even cringed at the kind of sex chatting with Samantha.
Yeah, although to be fair, I'm kind of glad it did it with just like a black screen, and it's like almost like leave it to your imagination type of thing. Because in any other scenario, that might be too OTT. Like, I don't know,
I'll going imagine super like jerking off while
or something. Yeah. It's kind of like it makes it a bit better in a way, more tasteful in a sense. But
I had a problem.
Yeah,
she's heavy breathing. She doesn't breathe. She's not a living human being, and he does say this in the end to her. But it was fine when they were having the sex chat, wasn't it? And she was fake panting.
Yeah.
Because
that's.
But
otherwise, I don't know. It was like, oh, that would be like that, wouldn't it? It'd be like there'd be no. That would be weird, wouldn't it? If you think about it that way, it'd have to have the panting. But like you say, yeah, he does mention that later on. So, oh, why do you need to breathe?
It's like, a bit hypocritical, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because it's like, well, initially you were fine with that, like her breathing and trying to be real.
Yeah.
Now he seems to have a problem with that, and it's like, I just don't get it. It's make up your mind. Don't be flitting 1 minute saying, oh, that's okay, I'm enjoying that, and now being like, oh, you're not real. Well, you know she's not real.
Yeah, I think it was more of a case of convenience for him, in a sense that it was at a point at the back end of the films where it's kind of like, oh, where were you type of thing, as if she was like, well, she was essentially like with another person, because it turns out she wasn't the only AI for him, even though she kind of made it sound like he was the only person for him type of thing.
Also, she's very hypocritical, because Samantha obviously knows all his business. He's gone through a divorce as Theodore. He was struggling to sign the papers, and initially she was a friend.
Yeah.
To him, like a companion. She'd help him and be there when he was lonely. And then Amy, who is one of his close friends and lives in the same apartment or block of flats or whatever you want to call it, she kind of then gets a little bit jealous, and it's like, oh, wait a minute, wasn't she talking to like 600 and odd other people, Samantha, as this AI? And she's that's just being in relationships. I think that didn't mean how many other billion people she was just assisting.
Yeah, under that vice, yeah.
It's like the thought of being in love with 600 people. Oh my goodness, the maintenance of that. I don't even think I know 600 people.
No, I don't. Definitely don't. But it's kind of easy in the sense of, it's because of the fact of it being a computer operated system. It's just a lot easier for that to make sense in a world. It's not like it's one actual person trying to maintain like different profiles, and because that would get messy if you actually like a catfish who was doing that kind of stuff and trying to keep it on top of, I spoke to you about this today, or that kind of stuff. It's very different, but it obviously comes more to the end. But it kind of like, you kind of really feel sad for him, because he's trying to connect with something he thinks is real, which isn't, obviously. And yet he's still let down in the end, really, because of his lack of human interaction, which is kind of like a melancholy way of how this film works out. And it's the same with the music that it has going on as well. There's like kind of tone all the way through.
All the way you feel sorry for him, even though he's happy at one point as well. In the relationship with Samantha, you still feel that horrible, like, this isn't going to go well.
No.
In the end, you're going to want more.
Yes. It's inevitable, really, but...
Yeah, it really is. It's really sad.
But even the fact of, with the interaction that he wants with Samantha, he finds it weird that when she wants to, like, have almost like inhabit another vessel to be, obviously have a more of a physical relationship, he's kind of like a bit, this is weird, which I kind of understand because it's like, I don't know this person, who's this person involved. This is always like being a prostitute.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's such a strange.
It's like, I don't know. I don't really gel with the idea of a 3-way or anything like that. I feel like it's one of those things you should be committed and it should be just like a 2-way thing. I don't care what sex it is. It's fine, but as long as there's a commitment there that you both are going to be loyal to one another.
Yeah.
However, this is like me going, oh, I'm going to be away for 6 months, Paul, so I'm going to send over a woman to satisfy your needs. It's like, would you? No, you wouldn't.
Not in a real world situation, no.
There is people out there, isn't there, that you see it on the TV.
Swingers or... Yeah.
Oh, they have like, God knows how many wives.
Yeah.
And they live under the same house. And I'm like, what? People do it. And I'm like, how? Like, I would be jealous as hell. Like, the thought of you kissing somebody else.
Yeah.
That would, well, it'd break my heart and it'd drive me insane. I hope you feel the same way.
Well, no, of course I do. Yeah, it shouldn't be a case of having to flip between many different people. You should just have the one partner.
Yeah.
And that'd be that.
Don't be greedy.
And if you don't want to be with that partner anymore, just end it there. And
like, I guess I understand this.
Don't leave people in the lurch, I guess. Which is, obviously, we're going to get to more of that kind of stuff in the other 2 films we're talking about. But
yes.
Yeah.
It kind of works. It is like a rom-com session. I'm so sorry. But we haven't had one in a while. And I've thoroughly enjoyed all of these films. What I will say for this one is, you do get to a point of where he's questioning being lonely, but is it worth being with Samantha? However, he's reflecting on his other relationships. So, like, for example, with his ex-wife.
Yeah.
And, you know, it had that kind of romantic vibe where you've broken up with a partner and you want to show yourself as your best version, but like, look what you've missed.
Yeah.
And he does do that really well until he actually tells his ex-wife that he's fallen in love with a AI operating system. And she can't comprehend.
Yeah, no.
Like, I can feel for her though. If you said that to me, like, you were breaking up with me, you were no longer with me, but you'd fall in love with a computer, like, I would feel absolutely crap. Like, I prefer you to say you were gay.
Yeah, she says, like, what is it? You can't handle real emotions because of the fact he's dating a computer. She finds it hard to grasp the situation, just like he's finding it hard to grasp relationships with real people. He kind of feels hollow and he's got to fill the void somehow, and he can't seem to connect with any real people. So this is why he has to do what he does. But
so he thinks, but I just don't think he lets people in.
No.
It's part of it, really.
He seems to have, like most people, in a world where computers are heavily involved in everybody's lives, and there's a very obvious when the lack of people within shots and scenes and everything, or they're either looking at screens like you said before, or everything. It's kind of just heavily reliant on that, and also the fact that earlier when he was on a date with somebody he'd been set up with. That
one was so strange.
Because it was like, oh, we're having a great time and everything, and then it's all like, age is a factor to be in a serious relationship with that, and it's like, it's almost like, you got to be serious on this or you're wasting my time, which I get, because, you know, if the clock's ticking and you're in your 40s or whatever, and you're just like, I haven't settled down or anything, you kind of don't want waste, if you are serious about having a family or whatever, you don't mean wasting time and stuff. You know, time is precious, of course, but she flits in such a twisted turn of the knife type of way. It's like, you're creepy, just for the fact it's like, almost like, because you're turning her down or whatever, and it's like, what the hell, you just said we were having a nice time, and now suddenly...
I kind of get where she's coming from, though, because she wants to know where it's going to go. Like, she just doesn't want a one-night stand, which, fair play to her.
Yeah.
Like, she's done that plenty of times,
yeah.
And she just wants to know, basically, I think, if there's a second date on the cards, is he going to see her again? Or is this it? Is it going to just be a hookup? And I think he just basically wants a good night and then not having to see her again. And he's not very good with commitment.
But this is the thing, you don't know, nothing's certain with relationships, really, until you put the time and effort in to know that person.
100%, but you would know if you wanted to see him again or not after
a first
date.
But then after 3 or 4 dates, you might be like, no, maybe not. Find someone else now. But you don't know, do you? This is the thing. It's just how relationships are. But
I'm just so glad that we found one another, because the whole dating thing just seems...
I couldn't think I could do anymore.
This seems so hard work, doesn't it? I know that sounds really sad. It's just, you've got all these other apps now. We met on Plenty of Fish, and now there's everything going on.
Tinder and other
hate
ones.
Tinder. Hate the thought of it. It's just so shallow. I'm sorry. You're just going on a picture and a little bit of bump of information. Like...
No, I know. It's
just crap.
Yeah.
So with this, I think Theo plays a brilliant part. He does have a little bit the same acting style as the Joker.
He's a good actor. He's definitely one of the top tier.
In terms raw, isn't it?
Yeah.
And to say, really, he's not acting with anyone. So I do wonder if Scarlett Johansson is behind the camera doing her lines, or if she just decided to do them in a studio without him. I feel like there's some form of chemistry within that relationship that I'd hope she was on set and she was present and nearby, really.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be like a situation where, like they do recording for anime, or any animation type of thing, where they just come in to do the lines, read off a script, look at a screen or whatever for her part. I don't know.
I know what you're meaning. I hope that they were together just for that connection, because they do seem to have a good rapport back and forth, and I think it would help Theodore, the main actor's role,
give that strength.
Yeah.
To it, yeah.
Especially because he really is acting on his own. Okay, he's got a couple of, obviously we haven't even mentioned, we've got Chris Pratt in this.
You're very bit part, and obviously I think it's more like early Park and Rex days, I think, because he was not as toned.
No, he wasn't. He was still lovable. He was called Paul as well.
Yeah.
And then you've got obviously the couple in the apartment and people that he works with.
Yeah.
But apart from that, and his ex-wife.
Yeah.
You don't have much else connection. The main dialogue is himself with
Scarlett Johansson. Yeah.
Exactly. I do feel like the way it ends is really, really sad.
Yeah, it's sort of like he does have that connection in the end with, obviously, it kind of touched on the fact that they kind of like dated for like a moment or whatever, like people say, and it's kind of like maybe his realization that maybe I should be with this person instead, but and it kind of ends on a nice-ish note, but it's kind of like that the whole thing of all the AIs kind of like abandon them type of thing. It's like, well, they're almost like left to their own devices.
I just feel like that's like a relationship where somebody just ghosts you.
Yeah.
They don't talk to you anymore, and that's it. And it's like, well, I'd like to have known what I did wrong. And they say it's because obviously it's developed and the time has come for him to leave.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, what sort of excuse is that? Unless you're going to improve him and upgrade him.
Yeah, they've evolved so much maybe that they're kind of just like, oh, we're no longer here, a part of this earth. We need to, go to our own planet or something or whatever. It's kind of.
But I do get a little bit of Ruby Sparks vibes and Mannequin.
Yeah.
That we watched previously with this film.
Or was it Lars and the Real Girl with Ryan Gosling? That was like a similar thing with a doll that he kind of like dressed up and.
I feel like that one's a better connection because I feel like Ruby Sparks and Mannequin, it's light-hearted, whereas I feel like the one with Ryan Gosling, you do feel that awkward feel that you get in her.
Yeah.
And it does make you feel a bit uncomfortable at times. For me personally, I did feel that way.
Right. Okay.
It wasn't like a lovely romance that you're watching on TV, which we'll go to soon. It was one of those romances where you already see it's a train wreck ready to happen. When your friend goes, "Oh, I'm dating so and so," you're like, "Why the hell are you doing that?"
Yeah.
Like Taylor Swift, it's never ever ever gonna happen or get back together.
No, I know what you mean. It's celebrity marriages, they never last, do they? Okay, I think there's a lot to unpack with this first watch anyway, but it's definitely something I would definitely come back to and watch again. But I'll go to scoring for this one now. For me, it's pretty high.
Oh dear. Yeah. I feel like yours this is gonna be like the peak for you, and then it's gonna go where I might be the opposite.
Yeah.
I feel.
Yeah.
Is it?
Do you want to hazard a guess?
Are you going first?
Yeah, I'm going.
Because technically these are mine, so I normally have to go first, so I feel like it should be you.
Yeah, okay.
I feel like you're going to say a 9.
Yeah, I think it might very well be a 9 for that. Yeah, I do like, despite the some of the awkward thing, although they were quite funny, the humorous, like mentioned before about the choking a cat on the sex scene, and that little AI character was like, "Fuck you."
Oh, that was funny.
That
actually.
was funny on the thing, and I imagine if game technology was like that, actually, like so virtual in the thing, not so much a little thing going "fuck you" or whatever, but
that'd be so hilarious, because if that was you, and that was like you'd be effing and jeffing at the computer or the AI, and if it swore back at you, I would be like in fits of tears.
It'd be hilarious, yeah.
I feel like you'd have a mass argument with it. You'd just like rip into it, because the funny thing is, you're never like that with a human. You don't like confrontation. You're so lovely.
Yes, when they can't talk back to me.
yeah. So it'd be funny if it could.
Yeah, but I do like this whole melancholy vibe anyway. That's kind of one of the things I like about some certain films, when they have that kind of like certain tone to them. This did have like an indie-ish vibe, but more like on a slightly higher caliber of that. So there's a lot more production to it, and I felt there was a lot of things that I can relate to with the whole thing, like having relationships with phones, pretty prior to you, kind of thing. There's been situations where like that, and there's not really gone anywhere type of thing. It's like you felt kind of low and lonely for that factor. So it kind of spoke to me in a sort of way, but I'm obviously very happy that I've got you now, an actual real.
Oh, thanks.
Damien found the one, so.
Oh, okay. You very well played there. You did very well.
Yeah.
I'll applaud you for that.
So 9. Yeah.
Mine's not so high.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I did enjoy it.
Yeah.
But it did make me, where you like the melancholy, it makes me feel uncomfortable sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I like happy clappy. I do.
Yeah.
I like a good ending, and it's commendable. It's new. It's edgy. It's completely different to what I normally would find a rom-com to be.
Yeah.
Which was enjoyable, like, for the first watch.
Yeah.
I think the second time coming around, I feel like certain things would make me feel in a cringe, knowing they were coming up if I was going to watch it again.
Yeah.
So, like you saying about the strangling the cat, that would probably cringe me out, I guess. Also, the sex scene, maybe I'm just still shy about that, even though I've got, yeah, maybe. That kind of, just the thought of it being with an object, basically, like not a real person, that seems a bit weird to me.
It wasn't really an object, though, was it? It was just more like, essentially, like with a thinking of it in your mind, like a memory type of thing.
It could be like on the phone, like
or like that. Yeah, because that's essentially what it was. It was just
a lot more real. That's the I think that's the element where it creeps me out, I guess, because she's not real.
Mm-hmm.
But acting wise, brilliant. Mm-hmm. Scarlett Johansson, her voice, she don't even have to be on screen, and she makes a presence.
Yeah,
known,
definitely. Yeah,
and is a brilliant actress in that sense. So I think for me that gives it a perk. Obviously, yes, we would all love an AI or any technology to have her voice and be as advanced as she is.
Yeah.
So I think my score, you're going to hate me, I think I'm going middle for diddle, and I've been doing this for a lot.
Is this middle that isn't actually the middle?
Well, for me it is, because I don't feel like I score anything like a 2 apart from Borat.
Yeah.
So like my middle range would be like 5 is like a really, really bad low.
Okay, yeah, got you.
So going up to 10 in the middle, I'm thinking that's like 7.5.
Okay.
I feel.
Yeah.
Not saying it's rubbish, and it's not. It's just at the moment me looking at other films that we've got.
Yeah.
And being savvy with the way I'm scoring.
Okay, fair enough. So 7.5.
7.5.
Yeah. Before we get into the next film, then, just a quick question. Obviously, I said if I wish Scarlett Johansson was the voice of the AI on our device. What if you had a male voice that any actor male voice to?
Sorted. I already got it.
Go on.
Who do you think? Come on, read my mind. Do you know?
As an actor or a musician?
It's an actor.
Okay.
Channeling it to you.
I don't know. Actually, I've got loads of different things, but I can't think of anyone who like a specific voice that would be like, oh yeah, listen to him all.
You will. You'll agree with
Okay,
me. Ryan Reynolds.
Oh right, okay. I thought, but I wasn't entirely sure. Okay.
He would just make me laugh, and he would be brilliant. And I think if it was swapping it around,
yeah,
and let's say it was a female falling in love, that I could understand Ryan Reynolds' voice.
Right. Okay.
Like falling in love with that voice.
Okay.
Just it's not even Ed Sheeran's voice.
No,
I don't think that would work. I think Emma Stone's would.
Oh yeah, that'd be a tough call, really, for me. I think. Yeah.
What? So you mean Emma Stone or Scarlett Johansson?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She'd have the wit, would Emma Stone?
Yeah, she would. Yeah, she probably. Because again, you got like Ryan Reynolds' wit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas I'm sure Scarlett Johansson's witty enough, but
I don't think she is, because Ryan Reynolds didn't want her.
Yeah.
So she can't be funny. Because that's the whole reason why he's with
Blake Lively.
Yeah. So obviously, clearly, Scarlett had something. Scarlett didn't have that.
Not just. Yeah.
Sorry.
Throw shade at her or anything, but yeah.
Well, come on, who's prettier? I would say Scarlett Johansson's got a prettier face than Blake Lively. She's got a little bit. She's pretty.
And now you'd say taking the piss out of.
She's not as. I don't know.
Anyway,
she's got a goofiness about her, but I love her for it.
Yeah. Okay. So now to the next film, the one that I haven't seen.
Woo! Now I wish we could just do Paul hasn't seen for 3 of them. Like I wanted Top Gun, I wanted this one, and I wanted Father of the Bride, which at some point we'll come to.
I still haven't seen that, so.
No, I know you hadn't seen Top Gun either.
Okay, yeah.
So I would want to do like just a birthday marathon of films Paul hasn't seen. You know, just like I feel like that would be good.
Maybe next time then. Yeah.
Yes.
Break the cycle. But I thought, just for the birthday stuff, I thought it'd make it a bit more fair if it was doing that way, a bit of a mixture of things for you. But, Anyway, so my first experience of seeing this film with another Julia Roberts film.
Woo! I love a good Julia Roberts film.
So this was 1997, and Pretty Woman was 1990.
Really?
So this is long after the fact of that.
Yeah.
I noted down prior to this recording of like what I rated other rom-com things, because I feel like it's going to be hard for me to maybe like put a gauge on like how I should score things with this. So I've noted down, just so you know, Pretty Woman, that's all I'll say for now, is a 7.
Okay.
Shit. So, and that was, I gotta say, right about how kind of, on reflection, I think I would rather see Pretty Woman than I would see this.
Is that because it's got prostitutes in it, or it's more?
No, I think it's just a lot more entertaining. I do quite like Richard Gere anyway.
Okay. Yeah, you don't know the main man really. I don't feel like he's well known.
He probably is, but and to be fair, all 3 of the lead characters I don't really particularly gel with as such, because they've all got these sort of like ulterior motives, it seems, and it's like you kind of flitting between like, your feelings of like, 1 minute or certainly him, he's like, I'm marrying this person, but then I've still got your friend who's coming to see me, but I need you here, but I'm kind of like almost like flirting with her, you know, in ways and such, and it's like, this isn't fair. I feel
like you can't have friends with girls that are like close by. Like, I know people can do it, but especially if you had a relationship prior.
Yeah,
I feel like that doesn't work
after the fact. Yeah, it's fair enough if you've never had an intimate relationship or anything like that before. Then sure, there's nothing to go off of there. But
I know I've kind of this. I think this film for me really, really resonates with me.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna laugh. It was when I was in school. I had a boyfriend, and he would always dump me for something better. Yeah. And then he'd come back, and then he'd dump me again, and it was like the Taylor Swift song all over again.
Right.
And it would be that then we would be in this weird friend zone where he would then tell me about his relationships. And I do think I was a little bit of a Julia Roberts.
Right.
I would, so I think, not in a mean way, I just go, oh, she likes that. Well, that's not something you really like. And kind of try and manipulate it. Because, not that I didn't want him to be happy, I got jealous with him, seeing him with somebody else.
Yeah. Which is what Julia Roberts is doing in this, yeah.
And he always had girlfriends. Like, literally, I couldn't even get a George to rub him in his face.
Yeah.
Like, it took forever for that to even happen. So, I feel like this is why I do love this film so much, because I do get it. I don't know if you've ever been on an on and off relationship and then been friends after the fact.
No, I've got to say, for past relationships, I've never really had that connection after the fact of being friends with them or anything like that. After that, once that's done, it's done. I haven't spoken to them, seen them really ever again after that.
That's the way it should be. Like, it's strange, because I know me and you, if we ever touch wood, we'll never break up.
Yeah.
I would want to be your friend because you've been such a big part of my life.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like you can move forward in another relationship when you've got that still lingering.
Yeah. For her as well, it's kind of like the whole crux of this is like she's loved him for 9 years, was it, or something? And she suddenly finds out that he's getting married in 4 days and everything, and it's like, oh, right, I've got to sabotage this and make it, like this crazy plan of, oh, I've got to make him fall in love with me.
But the thing is, he probably was in love with her for 9 years and had just missed on the chance.
Because she didn't really say anything, because she was not in that frame of mind to be in that relationship or whatever.
I think other things come up, life comes by, and jobs, we're all kind of busy with that.
It's kind of like you don't know what you've got till it's gone type of thing. That's kind of what it really is. But it's really hard to sympathise with her, especially because of what she's trying to do to jeopardise everything.
It is morally wrong, certain things she does. It's so bitchy, isn't it?
Yeah. It's not... the whole thing isn't done in like... It wasn't like too much of a... Oh, this is super cringy way of doing it, though. I've got to say that. Because if it was done in a modern 2000s way, it would be super ridiculous, over the top.
It would be, and I think I've kind of said this to you. When I used to like rom-coms, there was a certain niche where it was a good dialogue.
The 90s had it down pat, really.
Yeah, it was brilliant. And Julia Roberts is a really brilliant actress. You have Cameron Diaz, an early kind of young Cameron Diaz. And then you've got some random guy played Michael, who I don't know, I haven't seen him in anything else. Probably is in something.
Yeah.
But not that I'm aware of. No. And no, it's not like one of those things where you're really rooting for anybody. Like, I was trying to ask you halfway through, like, who do you think he's going to pick? Like, is he going to pick Kimmy, or is he going to pick Jules, which I think is a really lazy name for Julia Roberts.
Yeah.
Probably call her Jules.
Yeah. Yeah, you said that, and it's like, I don't really know how it's going to play out in the end of this, because the main reason, because I heard of, like, way back in the thing, but I think I kind of misconstrued the information a little bit. Way back in film studies in school, we sort of briefly talked about this as part of a thing.
It must be a good film if you've done it in film studies.
Well, no, we didn't watch the film, but we just talked about I think it's like how censors and critics and the public can change things because of the fact that what I initially thought, and must have thought from way back when, was that Kimmy didn't end up marrying Michael, and Jules won the whole thing, and she went off in the sunset, whatever. That's what I thought it was, actually, but it turns out it wasn't the case at all. And when I looked up, because I wasn't entirely sure, and it was actually, in fact, in test screens, it was Jules' character at the end meets a new person instead of, how it ends with George being there, her gay best friend, to kind of alleviate the pain of everything, because they wanted it to be a way that kind of like somewhat redeemable for her, even though she's done all this bad stuff. Not like a sad note, like, because that would be an uproar of that. It's like for the audience to be like, oh, she's so sad. Julie Roberts is sad type of thing. She can't be that. So it needs sort of like a happy, uplifting way to end the film. But I don't feel like it's still very hard to feel any sympathy for her, really, in terms of everything that she's done. Really, it's just doesn't seem right. The lengths she goes to just to do this.
Against your morals, Paul, isn't it? Shouldn't lie. It shouldn't be deceitful. But the heart wants what the heart wants, and sometimes
I know, but you shouldn't have to
make you do stupid things. And I know for a fact I've slagged so many girls off trying to make relationship for somebody else not work, clearly because you want that person. I don't know if you've ever been in that situation, even if you've wanted somebody and they're kind of looking at somebody else and kind of bad-mouthed them a little bit. Like, I think it's just only human that people do that. Maybe I'm just trying to justify what I did when I was to and froing. I don't know. It does make you think that sometimes you can go to the end of the earth if you want something so badly, and it might not be the right way of going about it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm happy with him going back to Cameron Diaz.
That's what I mean. It's like you clearly want her, but because she kissed him like it's forced upon him kind of thing. But there was clearly something there. Cause he's like, oh,
didn't push her away, did he?
No, he didn't go, get off me or anything. So it's
like,
kind
if
of
somebody came to kiss me and I'm in love with you, then it would be like, what the hell are you doing? It wouldn't even get near my mouth.
Yeah.
So I feel like he didn't really put up much of a fight. So for me, Michael is the worst character in all of this because he's leading Jules on, and
he's kind of like living a lie almost with the whole thing. I know it's like it's definitely a thing. In my head, it'd be like, well, I've paid for all this stuff. I mean, and all the stuff that in like the expense and extravagance.
I don't think he's paid for it. Don't worry, it's all daddy.
I'm worried about him, but you know what I mean. Like because for in the sense of like I'm paying for the wedding out of my pocket or whatever, and it's like, well, all that money, and then now it's not going ahead for just because I'm second thoughts about doing something.
You better not have second thoughts when we go down the aisle.
No, that's what I mean. So it's kind of like just all the money got sunk into something that's not even going to come to fruition type of thing. It's just that is, but how I think about these things in my head. And
to say that it's a 4-day wedding, what is even one of those?
It's ridiculous. These Americans and the extravagant.
Like, what the Brits don't even do, like, unless you're really, really suave.
Dress dinner rehearsal or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, we just wing it.
Yeah.
It's like,
why do you need to do that?
It's just so a day. Odd. Yeah. You know, at the end of the day, it is just one day out of 360 odd days in a year.
Yeah. And then there's some people who just go to Vegas and do it a quick.
Yeah.
Elvis do it or whatever. But, but anyway, one of the one of the best characters in it is George.
Though, I'm so glad you agree.
He's kind of like the level-headed conscience for Jules, really. Kind of like he's on the end of the phone, really, to just have a chat about the situation. He becomes like normal, brings it back to normality almost, or even though he does kind of like, well, you maybe should try and just do this instead, but he kind of like plays a bit of a part in it. But he's probably the most enjoyable character in it, really.
He's my favourite character out of them all. Yeah. And I love it when Jules lies and says they're engaged. Yeah. How much he puts it on. He's literally making her run through the rings for her decision. Like, he's so playing on it, and you can tell she feels uncomfortable and he's winding her up. But it works because Michael does get jealous. Yeah. It's like, why are you jealous when you're in love with somebody else? You shouldn't have that.
No, exactly.
So clearly, he's my pet peeve, is Michael.
Yeah.
I feel like he should end up with neither.
No, I think in an ideal world, that's how I'd want the film to end. I feel that's more justified. But again, that probably wouldn't have gone down well with everybody.
No, because it wouldn't be a rom-com then, would it? I do think Kimmy deserves better, actually, because she actually is coming from a heart of love. Yeah, okay. She's that typical annoying character who Daddy has everything. He's wealthy and rich, but she actually genuinely does love Michael.
Yeah, despite early on in the film, she reels off a list of things that annoys her about him, like he likes action movies. I don't know why that's a problem.
It is.
Wears Reeboks to dinner or things like that, or slurps soup through 2 front teeth or something weird. Okay.
Those things that you do, like picking your beard.
But it's just like, but he's a good kisser, so that makes it okay. It's like, okay. Is that really a justification to look
it
past?
It might help, yeah. Like if you kiss me with like a
he murders kids. You know.
I think that's a bit excessive.
Rapist, but he's a good kisser. He's all right.
I feel like there is things that I must do, habits that I have that must most certainly annoy you. You live with me 24/7.
Well, the tiny little thing, but I joke about it with you, is the hiccup thing that you have going on sometimes. It's like, oh, what is that noise?
I didn't think you were going to say that. That really threw me off.
There's not many other things, but I know there's probably things same with me that you get annoyed with. Yeah.
It's like all your hairs.
Can't help being hairy. Can I?
It's just so annoying, especially when you have to clean the bathroom. But it's one of those where we love one another. We have those bad traits, but
we look past.
Yeah, you do, because it's love, and I think that's kind of what Kimmy was trying to say. But I kind of see myself in Kimmy too. So I would do anything for you, as you can tell. I'm on this podcast. I love Pokemon because of you. That's what you do in a relationship. You give yourself completely, and you will kind of enjoy each other's interests. And that's why you really like now My Best Friend's Wedding, don't you?
I wish I could say I do. There's other things that that kind of, I remember it was kind of almost like the fact of when the part where George is regaling the story of how they met and stuff, and then he starts singing that the Aretha Franklin song.
Say a little prayer for you.
Yeah. Then the entire restaurant starts joining. It's like, oh, I'll play the piano. And it's like, this is like, oh, it's just that's so cringe in a way.
Didn't you know that's what we're going to do next time both families are together? We can go to a restaurant and just sing. And
the fact Michael's there, just there, stone faced. I feel like that was me, and everyone else is like sing along and clapping, and he's like bewilderment. It's like, yeah, I know what feeling, bro.
But to be fair, sometimes though, Paul, your face can be motionless. Like, it doesn't seem to be like, I'm like, how are you feeling? Like, I know my face is very expressive, and I think that comes across in my voice as well. And sometimes you can just have that face of, is there anybody there?
No, I know what you mean. Yeah.
But I do think George is brilliant. I even think, even though Cameron Diaz's character, she can be annoying and irritating and super perfect, and no one can be that perfect.
Yeah.
But I love that karaoke scene.
Well, yeah, that was more believable because of the fact of, except for the fact of, why did she not get to pick the song? Like, why are you just passing the thing, here's and start singing this, and what if you don't know the words? That's super...
why it's on the screen, isn't it?
No, but he like, I don't know, I try to think of an example of a song I might not really know the words to, and it's like, well, I don't know the tune. Like, how are you supposed to sing along to it if you've never heard the song before or don't know it very well?
True.
It's not very fair. I feel that's just a thing. It's more like, I've picked out one of your favourite songs or something, and be like, okay, but I don't want to sing it. It's like, oh, tough, you're singing it now. That would be fine. That's the only thing with that. But I kind of get the whole joke of, oh, she's a terrible singer. And then everyone in the club, but we're all like that, because we like, with someone, everyone's a bit merry and everything. It's like, yeah, jagging them on, like,
and they love an underdog.
Yeah. So that's fine. I can live with that.
And I like it because it shows that she's not perfect.
Yeah.
Because she cannot sing.
Yeah.
But she's still giving it a go because she knows it means a lot to Michael.
Yeah. Yeah, giving it a roll. Yeah.
I just don't know what to do with myself, which is such a good song because she really doesn't know what to do with herself in that situation. She's kind of really I think it would be me.
Vulnerable, yeah.
I can sing in the car and I'm fine. But everybody watching me sing something, I've never done karaoke in my entire life, and it's not something I really want to do.
I don't mind that. I don't mind making a fool of myself, especially if I've had a drink.
You're really good at it, though, and it comes across really well, whereas I think I would be at Cameron Diaz. I would get a shaky voice.
Yeah.
And get nervous. And I think she does pull it off in the end, and she does a little bit of a boogie as well.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's like one of my favourite scenes in this.
Mm-hmm. The other one, the comparison, the other one that's good is like a comparison with what she's describing how Michael orders like a creme brulee. I think this is at the point where obviously the back end where it's like trying to make it so that Kimmy's the creme brulee in the situation that she's describing, but then Michael wants Jello.
Who would want Jello? Is that like jelly? Is that like
it's American Jello. Yeah. But if I was talking about a French restaurant, why would they just have Jello in a thing? There must be some other French dessert that she could have said.
Yeah, like trying to think.
I don't know.
Like even a brownie.
Even ice cream would have just been plain simple. Yeah.
Sometimes ice cream is good though. At least Jello is like crap. Like not many people would say, "Oh, my favourite dessert is jelly," unless you're like 2 years old.
Jelly and ice cream.
yeah. I don't even like jelly because it's weird. Like, do I chew it? Do I suck it? Do I drink it?
No, you don't drink it.
Like it's just, what is it? It's just like water.
Slimy.
It's weird. And that's kind of a really good analogy because she is being a slimy sleazeball.
Yeah, exactly. And creme brulee is like one of the almost a pinnacle of perfect classy desserts. Really like creme brulee.
And I feel like she has got a kind of posh outer core, but you crack it in the middle, and Kimmy's got that soft gooiness to her.
Yep.
So it works.
Good analogy.
Thanks.
So I'm happy to go to happy to go to scoring, but I don't know how you're going to feel really on it. But
just remember it's my birthday.
Yeah.
And I can cry if I want to.
Unless you got anything else you want to add in.
So I just want to know what you think of the end kind of scene, where it's the whole kind of. I feel like you should have that music where it's like the running away. So obviously, Jules has just kissed Michael.
Mm-hmm.
Then Kimmy notices.
Oh right, yeah, not the very end because obviously we talked about that.
No.
Yeah.
So that kind of scene then when Michael runs after Kimmy.
Yeah.
It's like if you were Jules, wouldn't you think?
Oh, well, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. You wouldn't get in the bread van and drive after him, would you? Like I don't know why she thinks like that. For me is like a huge sign. Game over. He's picked Kimmy.
Yeah.
But she's just adamant. She's so persistent and precise with it. Like this is happening. We're meant to be together. We've been in love for 9 years. And it's like, well, you've wasted those 9 years, love. Kimmy, I feel like it is a little bit of a, does he actually genuinely love her, does Michael? Because she just gives and gives and kind of loves him.
She almost like bends to him, like almost like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that type of thing. When there's been other confrontations earlier in the film, it's like we're just doing it to please him, whatever. It's like, oh no, please don't leave me. It comes across almost very desperate.
Mm-hmm. It does
in a way, and it does not have a good look for anybody.
And that's not great for a relationship either.
No, not the basis of it. No. So yeah, no, I'm not. It's one of those things like, yeah, it's obviously for dramatic effect. Let's have a whole chase down the streets of wherever and trying to do that thing. Now obviously she's kind of George again being the voice of reason on the other end of the phone is like, well, who's chasing you type of thing. It's like because he's not coming to he's not turning 360 degrees and coming back to you now. It's like, oh well, I'm not going to catch up with Kimmy, so I'll just go back to you now.
No.
Or anything. It's clearly this is it. That's your answer. Let's leave it. But no, she carries on and yeah.
I do think in the end though, Jules' character does turn a little bit of a leaf, and you don't think that everything she's done is acceptable, but it goes on a well kind of like, okay, she's made it up, they did get married in the end, but I would not want that wedding day hell prior to getting married. Like, I wouldn't want to think that that's what had happened on my wedding day.
No, not a happy memory, is it?
No.
Remember that time we almost didn't get married because...
You wouldn't want that. But it makes for a good movie, and it's something I've watched time and time again.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a family kind of staple. We used to watch tons of films with Julia Roberts, even though you don't like her.
It's not as bad as I was making out to be, I suppose, in terms of... I can see where maybe there's just a stigma with the, oh, she's got a big mouth or something. That was really the play
I think she's generally beautiful. Like, I think it's the hair.
Red hair.
Yeah.
Red frizzy hair.
It's gorgeous. I always wanted her hair.
Yeah, so I can warm into her a little bit, I suppose. But
oh, good. I'm glad. That makes me really happy, even though your score's not gonna.
So there's a takeaway on that, really. I suppose. I'm gonna.
I can't look at you.
Okay, don't worry. It's not as bad as you might think. Really, it's not. I can't put it really high as a Pretty Woman. So.
Okay, fair enough. I agree with that.
Yeah. So I'll kind of just go through. Oh, I don't know. Do you want me to go through like all the things like rom-coms that are like similarly? Thing, does that make it easier?
Yeah.
For you, really, in my scoring of stuff. So, past things of rom-com-y type of related things. So we'll go. It's the Dirty Dancing, 6.5.
Okay, I feel like it's better than Dirty Dancing.
What If? That Daniel Radcliffe one.
That was alright. That was
6.5.
Okay, there's a theme here.
Bridesmaids, 6.5.
Okay.
She
didn't shit in the middle of the street, so I feel like she should get a bit more of a point than that.
Gangster Squad. Oh, that's a completely thing, but I think on the basis of something else that's kind of like we kind of liked but didn't kind of thing. So that was 6.5.
Even though that was like the second film we watched. Well, that was the first film we watched in the cinema.
Yeah. You've Got Mail was also a 7.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I do like Tom Hanks, so.
Okay, yeah, so it depends on what the main lead is.
But by a fair comparison of sorts, last other one in the film we watched last year with you, Birds of Prey, the Harley Quinn story, whatever.
Yeah.
6. That was just a straight 6.
Okay.
So I feel like I'll be a bit generous and go 6.5.
I saw that coming.
Really. Because based on all those other scores of other things I've done, it's like they had things that were kind of okay in how they were portrayed and everything. I feel like it's for this, like I say, it's like a higher caliber of like a rom-com. It's not too silly, not too stupid. But even though the characters didn't know, that's what it's like being generous with the 0.5 there, really, because I could put the 6. But
how nice!
I think it's got an actual structure to how it plays out, even though it's like you really detest everybody, the main 3, really, in their own ways. They're not super annoying, really. No. You kind of just like, oh, just stop it, kind of like, but not like to a point. It's like, I just cannot take your screen presence here. It's kind of just,
you don't have any lovable characters.
Yeah.
Apart from George.
Yeah.
And he's not on screen that much.
No.
To be fair, and he's the best character.
Yeah, which is fine.
Which I agree. I completely agree. Mine is going to be higher. Okay. I'm glad that I agree. Pretty Woman is up there compared to
definitely
My Best Friend's Wedding. It did get me excited for our wedding. I just hope there's not as much drama.
God, I hope so. Yeah.
I hope so too. Let's just both make a pact that we'll just meet and we'll be there on time and it'll be fine.
Yeah.
I do think it's light-hearted romance. It's got its who will he be with, and first watching it, you've got that uncertainty of not knowing. Obviously,
certainly for me, on my part, because my misconstrued information on how it was really going to end, but
exactly. So that would have been a nice surprise.
Twist, in a sense, yeah.
And I think the first watch, you don't know where it's gonna go, and that is brilliant with the way that it's filming. Because normally for a rom-com,
it's fairly predictable. Yeah, so that's what I mean. I'll give it that edge to it, because otherwise it's like, we know what's gonna happen. Because most things are, isn't it? It's like, oh, I'm with someone else. And
I think the first time I thought he was gonna go for Jules. I really did. That's where because that connection that they had, like, and reminiscing and everything like that, it felt like Kimmy was out of it a little bit.
Yeah, because so many films of this genre do that, really. Well,
straight away it jumps to me, Maid of Honor. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
Yeah, I think I have seen that one actually. I think
because that one I relate to as well.
Yeah.
It's the same scenario with my ex.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's similar.
Yeah.
But obviously they get together in the end.
Yeah.
So
it's a bit more predictable. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
For me, Julia Roberts is always a brilliant actress. She's in Notting Hill as well. She just does some knockout performances. She's also in what's it called now? Mum will know what it was called. So she's in Notting Hill. She's in so many others, and she never does a bad performance.
Yeah.
So for me, I think it is going to be an 8, and I think that's just nostalgia as well.
Yeah, that's fair
I've
enough.
grown up with it. However, the next film, I feel like we've saved the best till last.
You think?
Yeah.
Okay.
Paul's like, no, we haven't. We did that first one.
For me, that was the best one.
Give over.
I will say there's a bit more fondness for this one than obviously this was my impressions when it was the first time watched. Really, this is not a big connection where I've seen this a fair few times, and it's out of the three we've watched, it's definitely the most basic and straightforward, really, in terms of a storyline. Really,
definitely a rom-com special. So
yeah.
I also think it's the first Christmas film, really, technically. It gives me that Christmassy feeling vibes. And I had my first mince pie the other day. I love it when it comes to my birthday, because mince pies are out. Like, what more does a girl want?
I don't know.
It to be birthday every day? Or Christmas every day? I don't know.
No. Yeah, I think even you get sick of that.
Do you think?
Yeah.
I won't get sick of you having to watch. Oh no, I love turkey. I won't get sick of you watching all of my films, though, every week. Yeah. I understand why you love this podcast so much.
Yeah, but at least mine are generally a bit more diverse in terms of genres and stuff.
That's a bit of a dig, isn't it?
Sorry, happy birthday.
Your films are crap.
No, but you kind of know what I mean, right?
No, don't have a clue. Of course I know what you mean. So the film that we're watching after all of this...
Yeah, go on.
Is Serendipity.
Yeah.
Now, don't you think that's just a beautiful word in itself?
Well, as Kate Beckinsale says, yeah.
Yes. And what else has she been in? I don't really know.
She has been in Underworld. This is like a vampire.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen that.
You've seen Click, though, haven't you? The Adam Sandler film.
Yeah, but that we're saying yes. And I can't remember it because it's in the archive where Sophie puts trash.
Yeah.
Sorry, everyone who loves Adam Sandler. Don't get me started. I didn't think Serendipity would bring me there.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've got a lovely leading man.
Mm-hmm. John Cusack.
I love him to bits. He's in American Sweethearts. That's the film I wanted to say that's got Julia Roberts in.
Okay.
Just drive the goddamn car. And that's what Tom Cusack or whatever his name is.
John Cusack. Tom Cusack.
So yeah. And he's a brilliant actor. I feel like you feel him more in this film.
Yeah, he's certainly had his winning streak with these like 90s, 2000 films. There's a film called Say Anything that's kind of like, I'm intrigued to see it somehow. I still haven't seen that. It's I don't know if you know that iconic thing where he's like holding, he's like this long coat and he's holding a boombox up to a window or something.
I've seen that, but I've not seen it. I've seen it in like movie videos where people recreate that scene.
That's the thing. That's one of those things I haven't seen the film.
I'd love to see that.
But yeah, so at some point down the line, let's
write that down.
Okay.
Mental check.
No, that. But yeah, no, I do kind of like him in this. I think the early days when I was kind of like the being a hopeless romantic and stuff, and kind of like vibing on this. Are you not a hopeless romantic now?
Early days when you used to like romance. Has our romance died?
No, you know what I mean, like you like couldn't find love type of thing. That's what I mean by that.
And they call it puppy love. So were you not a hopeless romantic when you met me?
Well, wasn't hopeless then, was I? After the fact.
It might be the first time you met me. You didn't know where we were going to go.
Anyway. The point being, I kind of like enjoyed it from seeing it the first many times really, and it's kind of like one of these easy ones that's kind of like nice to get into and come back to, and just to. I'll admit, it's kind of like is it a Christmas film? Kind of technically,
if Die Hard is a Christmas film,
yeah, but it sets it entirely at Christmas. This doesn't seem
but
to.
it does a full cycle of Christmas. It does a full cycle of the year, or many years actually.
Many years. Yeah, it doesn't say it's October or August or whenever, does it?
No, but you kind of get the vibe that it's summer, and then it kind of comes back to being Christmas again. So it starts at Christmas at the beginning and ends at Christmas.
Yeah.
So to me, yes, Christmas film.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say it. That's what I think. I love this film so much. It is a little bit of a cheating path again.
Yeah, similar vibes though. That's the thing on
what
reflection.
If moment that, where you think, oh, what if I'd not gone out with this person, or what if this had gone well with this relationship?
Exactly, yeah.
And I feel like that, if you carry on down that line,
there's a million possibilities. Yeah, it's
dangerous sometimes. It really is.
Yeah.
It does make you worry to think that this is like somebody's got a what if moment, because I feel like if you have, then you should pursue it, because otherwise that's always going to be in the back of your head.
Sometimes it is, but sometimes it's probably not for the best to do.
But then that's good, because then you know that person you are with, you want to be with. And you've cleared them ghosts in your closet kind of thing.
Yeah.
Also, I love the thought of serendipity or faith. I always think that things happen for a reason. We met, obviously, for a reason. There's loads of things, like, who would have thought, being on Plenty of Fish, you would have messaged me?
Exactly. That's all the people on there, this thing. And it's like, me even knowing about it was a thing, like, overhearing someone else talk about it where I was working at the time, that kind of thing. And it's like, oh, okay, let's see. Because I'm not having much luck in actually trying to meet people in bars and whatever. Let's do that instead, because it's what I've got to lose, really.
Exactly. And I know it was my mum that actually was like, because I kept complaining that nobody liked me.
Yeah.
She was like, well, why don't you try online dating? And I'm like, I don't really like the thought of that. And so my own mother encouraged me. So just how your paths can connect.
Yeah,
even
certain things.
With work, I feel like this is a thing. You might apply for a job, you might not get it. It doesn't mean you failed, it just means it wasn't in your path.
Yeah, it wasn't in the cards.
It wasn't right for you at that point.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean then trying again, it might not be late down the line. I do feel like destiny kind of, as you grow and develop, it goes on. So this is what makes this film special for me. Because I love the thought of you meet somebody, and if it's meant to happen, it's meant to happen. Yeah. So like that kind of, right, I'm going to write, I wonder if I'd have done this to you, what would have happened? I'm going to write my number on a $5 bill.
Yeah, a £5 note.
£5 note.
For us in the UK, yeah.
And you're going to put, probably it'll be a Pokemon card. I don't know if you'd want to deface one of those, to be fair.
Really crap one.
Yeah. And then sell it in a comic store or something, I don't know.
Yeah, or a magazine or something, I don't know, yeah.
Yeah.
Book. Because, that's, you're trying to find comparable thing.
Or a game.
Yeah, something, I don't know, yeah.
You have to go into every game store now that there's... I don't know which one's harder, actually. I feel like it must be the money one.
Yeah, definitely. Because there's only so many copies of whatever book that was... she had written in, whatever. Everything. I wonder if, like, in the situation, like, if anyone did that, I'm like, oh, what's this number? I'll just ring to see what this is.
Would you?
Somewhat intrigued, I don't know, to that situation. It was just like another bystander, whatever, who'd picked up.
Ring, I might text it. Do the cowardly
Yeah, but back then, that wasn't...
No, it wasn't.
Wasn't super common to do that, was it? Text.
Well, going back to
2001, this film, so I don't think technology was that far in. No, I think people
they
did have.
You could text in 2001.
Cell phones. I'm not sure. Maybe.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway.
Maybe not on Julia Roberts' phone in like My Best Friend's Wedding.
That was 97. No,
that was like archaic. That was.
Yeah. A brick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Even had one of those antennae things.
Yeah. But yeah. So they're obviously, I mean, to the degree of them, the whole thing is that, like, they go their separate ways and everything, and it's like years later on, they're in different relationships. They're obviously not super happy with who they're really with, kind of thing, and it's...
They're not gelled completely, are they?
Yeah.
Well, Lars is complete...
Oh, is it?
Hippie, yeah, douchey, really just cares about his music and himself. And I think this shows a relationship takes two people. You can't just be like a Kimmy in My Best Friend's Wedding, just bending over backwards.
Yeah.
Sometimes you've got to watch some crap to appease your other. God, I've done my fair share.
Yeah, but there's some golden nuggets in there, surely, from what you've been watching that you wouldn't have sought out from anything. Yeah,
and same with you with Pretty Woman, right? You love that film now.
But I mean, there's been times when I've like watched things out of curiosity and I'm thinking, why did I bother? Type of thing. It's the same thing because you don't know until you watch things sometimes, or just like anything, I'll go to meet a person on dates, whatever. You don't know. You've got to test the waters. You don't know until you find.
I knew you that I liked you. You were the only person I met, so didn't waste my time meeting loads of random people that could kill me and chop me up in the basements.
No, true.
Like some.
I wasn't chopped up in the basement anyway, but I've still got all my limbs. Let's make it sound like, but I know what you mean, and just kind of just meeting any old person because...
You're desperate. Paul's just stuck with me because he thinks this is the only person that'll like me.
For a woman shit, yeah.
Yeah, that is true. So sadly they've moved on. John is getting married as well. And Sarah gets engaged to Lars. And they're kind of trying to move on with their lives, even though they have this burning, lingering what if moment. So I always think it's one of those things where it's better to do a job interview that you really think, I won't get it, but it's better to go and do the job interview and not get it than to know, than to be like, I wish I'd have done this. What would have happened? If I could have taken this course or done whatever. So it's one of those, you've got to scratch that kind of itch. Yeah. And this is where, is it a week or so before John's wedding? He's I
think I wrote down, he's got 3 days to search for this pipe dream that his friend, what's he called? Dean.
Dean is so lovely. He's like a Sam. For me, is Dean.
Okay.
He will take Frodo
to Mordor.
Yeah, I was going to say Mount Doom. I don't know what that is.
Well, it's in Mordor, yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're close, yeah.
Cool. Right, I'm not completely making crap up. Yeah. And I feel like that's what Dean does for John. He is there for him. I did actually say to you, didn't I, do you have a friend that would go above and beyond for you like that? Or is it just one of those characters that's made up? I think sometimes it might be that.
Well, there's a lot of, for the sake of maybe a rom-com, that's got to be that case, really, just to play the part. And the fact that, again, a lot of these coincidences, the signs that the universe is throwing at them is obviously more played upon, really, just to drive the story along, isn't it, really? It's like, in a normal situation, I don't think you'd be clutching at straws to find things, that's a wedding dress or thing, like the rings or whatever at this shop or whatever, this particular store at this moment in time, or someone's singing a song that's related to you of that kind of thing. It's like, that wouldn't really happen, would it? Really, it'd be very...
No.
Yeah, a bit of a
be
stretch.
Hard pressed to find that, I guess.
Yeah.
With the signs, but you can read signs into anything if you really want something desperately.
Yeah, but one of the things that does annoy me in in this film, but other films, in any film where it's like, when a character runs past one another and it's like a split second, it's just turn around, you were just there, and so because we know, the audience know that that's occurring, but they don't know. It's like, it does annoy me when those things happen.
I know what you're meaning, but it makes it add to the film, doesn't it? I guess.
Got to run to the ad time. Add to the run time. Yeah.
But it's just a really lovely kind of searching for somebody well, to be fair, it does make you wonder, how do you know you love somebody? Because I don't know if love at first sight actually is realistic.
I don't think that's a thing, really, just sad to say, because, I mean, again, like I've said probably countless times through this thing and times before, I'm sure, about how you've got to make a relationship work. You cannot seriously judge it off a first meeting and then like fall mad enough and go and get married in the space of a day or whatever, and then expect to be in that last forever and ever. It doesn't.
No, because relationships develop and they grow and they change.
People change. Yeah.
Yeah, me and you are not the same people who met that first day.
No.
Well, no, really not. No. Completely advanced. We've evolved, like Samantha.
Well, another thing, because of the fact that he clearly, John didn't know her that well, because from appearance sake, I mean, because in the part of the film where he's often kind of like getting towards the end, is like, oh, he's going to this house or address wherever that she lives, because he finds the thing in the book.
Yeah.
That he's been pursuing all this time, everything, and then it's like he thinks he sees her in the window, but it's a friend who's stopping looking after the house or whatever, and he's like, oh well, that's it then. It's like, well, you I don't know if that's just because you just think because the hairstyle or something, or you kind of it's just a vague memory of like what she looked like, but if you were so madly in love with her for thing, how can you kind of
forget what she looks like
almost? I know you can take a picture or anything, yeah.
It could be that you've only got this faint memory in your mind of what this person looks like, and if they've grown, developed, changed the hairstyle, I don't know if you'd get confused with me and Sarah, possibly. Maybe you'd think I've dyed my hair a little bit more ginger. Because we do look alike, so it's obviously because of siblings.
Yeah, but there's definitely a height difference with you two, so...
That's true, yeah. I'm short.
Yeah.
Sadly. Makes me adorable, though.
Mm-hmm. It does. And there's the whole thing with... when he's trying to sift through these old like file paperwork stuff, like receipts and store this expensive £93 for a tie.
Yes.
No, dollars should I say, but still, that's even in 2001's pricing thing. That's extortionate.
Must be like a designer
like
tie,
Harvey Nicks or something.
Yeah.
Store. Oh, flipping heck! I wouldn't dare dream of paying that.
No, you wouldn't. You don't spend a lot on clothes, doesn't Paul? No. He spends it on vinyls and DVDs. He could probably pay £90 for a 4K box set. No problem.
No, blink an eyelid, no. But no, get more enjoyment out of those than clothes that I just wear and hang up and wear occasionally, as opposed to something that sits on the shelf and watch occasionally, but you know.
Exactly, isn't that the same thing? No.
Yeah. And that, what's the store clerk guy or whatever, and he's quite
irritating. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, he's trying to almost joke around really with the situation. Really,
he's not very helpful. Him, like literally.
Yeah, wearing this, get by this purple suit kind of.
Willy Wonka vibes.
Yeah.
Definitely. It's like, why the hell you buy for something that you actually gonna wear?
Yeah. The only other thing I know him from is American Pie. He plays the dad in.
I've seen that. Yeah. It reminds me of a Mr. Bean moment.
Really?
A little bit. You know, like in Love Actually, where
you're
doing the jewellery.
Gift wrapped,
yeah. Yeah, and it's like that scene kind of takes too long.
Yeah, but it's a lot briefer than...
Cringy a little bit as well, and then you kind of like, forget it.
Yeah.
To a certain point, and I think that's portrays it for me. Mm-hmm. I have wrote a line down which Dean does say, and it's if you want to improve, then be thoughtful and foolish. Uh-huh. And I just think that's a lovely idea, because sometimes if you don't wear your heart on your sleeve, you think so much with your brain. You don't take chances you would normally. Mm-hmm. And it's that kind of to be foolish and be open and vulnerable, which a lot of people don't like to do. But that's how a relationship grows, because if you're not yourself and you're not open and vulnerable, nothing's going to grow, is it?
No, sadly not. But Dean does kind of like look up to him, John, in the end, really, because it's like, you know, you've kind of gone for it. You're doing this for love and everything, even though it's kind of a bit morally wrong of what he's doing. It, you know, it's a bit like dickish to be doing again, like a day before the wedding and all this kind of stuff.
It does make me worry. Like, I hope our wedding is not that, where you kind of, the day before something falls flat and goes sour. Like, it always is in a rom-com.
That way, isn't it? It's got to be, the wedding's got to be put on hold.
It needs to add some form of pressure to, like action impact, and I think that's what they're trying to go for.
Yeah, it's sort of like a timer to the whole situation.
Makes it more intense.
But yeah, it's just a bit of a do we have to go through this again? How many times has it been done? This is the only thing, really. But
and in this case, the wedding doesn't even happen in the end. So the fact that you said about my best friend's wedding, thinking about how much they'd shelled out, well, they actually lost out here because nobody got married whatsoever.
No, that, but it's still the whole thing. You still got to put down on deposits and stuff.
You've still got to pay for it all.
Exactly. So
especially on the actual day.
So it's still a waste of money, and that's
how humiliating. I'm more on the humiliation side of things, like for her.
Yeah, like what? Yeah, the reasoning behind that, and what? It's because of the fact that that's done, and obviously Kate Beckinsale goes into the things like she thinks it's all happened.
I do like that. Oh, it's so sad. What a shame.
Yeah, but then cuts to shortly after the fact, and Dean and John are then like having a walk and everything, and there's no sort of like repercussion from that. It's kind of like it's fine. It's just it is what it is kind of thing, and it's.
You don't see his bride to be having a mental breakdown
or anything like that after the fact or anything, which would be quite funny.
But I do think you get a bit of a somber vibe, because John is reading his
obituary speech, in a nice best man speech kind of way. It's kind of like a clever way of doing it, I suppose. So.
Yeah, and I do think that really is impactful, that scene, even though he's just walking
and reading. Yeah,
and obviously the way that they're doing it is him reading in his head.
Yes.
The voiceover.
Yeah.
I think the way that he reads that is brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it gives me a little bit of a goosebumpy feel when he's reading it.
Mm-hmm. I think that's the film's kind of like its most, I guess, hard-hitting moment, really, kind of thing. I kind of give a sense of purpose to what the character is, really, kind of summing him up in a way, or...
And as well, it's saying, like, if you died tomorrow, have you done everything you'd want to do?
Yeah.
Which is kind of a bit gritty, in a sense. It does make... I feel like this film is a bit hard-hitting in that sense. It does make you think, if you want to think.
Yeah.
It will give you them options of, like, well, have I filled my day as well as I could have done? Has destiny taken me where I needed to go? Did I read the signs?
I know. But unfortunately, we can't always live our days if it's our last, can we? Because, we've got responsibilities and stuff. This is the problem with that saying. It's like, if that was the case, everyone probably would just be going on holidays all the time.
There'd be no supermarkets.
Yeah, exactly. There'd be nobody doing any actual work, would there? Because no one want to do cleaning the house or, filing taxes and...
Yeah, no, that's
maintaining
true. Unless that's something you really enjoyed doing,
But I highly doubt it.
So coming towards the end, now this is like my favourite scene, is the ice skating rink. The music.
Right.
I feel like it wouldn't be the same without that musical piece at the end.
Okay.
It gives me kind of the goosebumpy feels. Again, I don't know, it's just like a romantic kind of, they finally are going to meet scene.
Again, yeah.
And it just makes it so magical and special. I think it makes it even more special because it's Christmas. It's fake snow.
Yeah, definitely fake snow. Studio snow, yeah.
Because it's not melting and there's puddles on the ice skating rink, so it's obviously done in like summer or something. And it's just the way the glove magically, like she must have flung it.
Yeah.
Or put some bricks in it or something because it shouldn't have gone that far. Because she was like all the way on the other side.
Yeah. I don't really know why he was sitting on the ice, but I think what might have been just a slight technical shot, a way of doing a shot, would be, obviously he's like lying on his back or whatever, and maybe if she came, obviously when it cuts to like him looking up at the sky, she kind of like pops into frame and he kind of like going, huh? It's like you type of thing, kind of thing, and then you get a stand up and do that rather than the glove throwing thing, but that's just like a short idea I would have for that. But yeah, and then you said like it's now finally together, and then it kind of like fast forwards to like a is it year on anniversary from that point, isn't it? Yeah.
Wanting to buy some gloves.
Yeah. If no, wouldn't it be technically an anniversary from when they first met, which would be a lot longer than that? Not wouldn't be a year, would it? Or are they just classing it just from that encounter that they have at the end, and then it's a year from then, even though
they're going to the glove store where they first originally met.
which was years and years ago. That's what I mean. It's like okay, well. Yeah. So then it's back to Christmas, and then it's like you're happy.
And it's joking as well with the store guy who's still there going,
step up away from the line or whatever, and
and actually this is her, Sarah. We actually got the girl.
Yeah.
And they all live happily ever after. Go on then, you're going to break my heart yet again. It's my birthday.
I know it's your birthday.
So I'll tell you. Birthday girl.
You want to lie?
Yes.
10.
Pee off. Mine's not even a 10.
It's not even a 10, so...
Can I guess?
Okay, go on.
I feel like this is better than my best friend's wedding. I feel like you're going to say 7, maybe 7.5. You gave her, was it a 9?
Yes, I did give that a 9, yeah.
Yeah, no, I feel like that it should be 7 or 7.5. Not to sway you at all with your scoring.
I will give it a 7.
You sure?
Yeah, because realistically, I do still enjoy it. As cheesy as it is and everything, and again the morals are a bit off, but they seem a lot worse in my best friend's wedding, because that's just
and it's genuine in Serendipity. They do seem to kind of have a connection, as well as their partners are not interested and self-absorbed.
Yeah, and I have seen this one a fair few times and still enjoy it. As John Cusack as well is plays it well, and I think there's other things in it, like I remember the thing, what's the best movie or whatever, and it says Cool Hand Luke, and they're like, oh, again, it's like, oh, I want to check that out, kind of thing. Like, what is this?
Yeah.
I like when characters do that kind of things. Like, oh, my favorite movie or my favorite music is da da da. And it's like, oh, even though it's not actually, it's just the characters thing. It's kind of like, oh, let's see what.
It might be though, because it's like, where did they pick that film from? Or is it the directors or somebody like that's favourite film?
Yeah.
But it feels like they've obviously want to credit it for whatever reason.
Yeah.
They wouldn't say a rubbish film, would they?
On a poster when she's Kate Beckinsale's characters in China or wherever it was that they were on tour with.
Yeah.
Everything. So it's like, yeah, that's cool. And I think it's just something I've sort of grown up with, and it's nice to come back to, and it's kind of got that sentimental value, like what You've Got Mail is, and Sleepers in Seattle, which I really like as well. There's another Tom Hanks. I don't know, have you? And then Meg Ryan.
Oh, maybe just the name isn't bringing it to me. Meg Ryan.
Different parts of the States.
But then maybe it's that just because they were in You've Got Mail together.
Yeah.
Might be that.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, okay. So is that acceptable? 7?
Yeah, but I do feel like you're a bit biased because, like, oh, I want to watch her, so I'm going to mark that high. And so any crap film Sophie picks, I'm going to mark them low.
No.
It's fair.
Well,
I'm going to shock.
I feel like they're fair assessments, really, aren't they? They're not like saying 4. Really. And my normal...
Oh, just you wait, Mr. Parks. Next film, I'm going to be the super uber harsh critique.
Well, I'll give you a nice one before Halloween, though, so can't be too... Won't put you through the ringer on that one.
Drive in there. So, going on to my opinion, which matters.
Okay, yeah, it's your birthday, so go on.
Yours doesn't matter. Everybody listens to know how I feel.
It's probably true.
He's such a birthday diva. You've upset me.
Come on.
So, my score is Serendipity. First of all, definitely connection of watching this younger Mm-hmm. I know my mum loves this film too, so I have got a strong connection to this film.
Does your sister love it?
I think she's seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think she would enjoy watching it again.
Yeah.
I don't know if she loves it, but probably will, because I know three of us used to watch it together.
Yeah.
So that does bump up my score biasedly. Obviously, you've got some brilliant actors, and in this film, you have got some annoying ones as well, like Lars. He does get on my nerves. But he's in my big fat Greek wedding, and I remember him not annoying me then as an actor. So I'm guessing it's just his character that he's playing. That's frustrating. I do love the thought of faith, destiny, serendipity being a thing.
Yep.
It really does make me feel like the universe does try and bring you into certain paths, and they always say one door opens, and then I've said that wrong.
Yeah. One door closes, another one opens. I think that's what you mean. Yeah.
Or God shuts a door and he opens a window, or whatever the saying is.
God?
Don't know.
Okay, fair enough. Whoever. Yeah.
And I just think it's that magical kind of feel to life.
It's a feel-good, one, yeah. For sure.
And it's based around Christmas, so it gives me that Christmassy goose vibes. But it's lovely because you can watch...
Goose.
You can watch it over and over, and it doesn't have to be at Christmas time.
No, I feel like you can get away with it at any sort of time, and not be a problem, yeah.
I think Die Hard, though, you can too, to be fair. You can! Oh, goodness, this is just going to be a constant fighting battle.
You're not going to win this.
It's been deemed. You down.
It's been deemed a Christmas film now.
Just because there's losers like you that think it is.
Thanks.
You're welcome. You've upset me, so I'm being harsh.
Anyway.
Scores. So, this is my highest score of my birthday special. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to score it a 9.
Okay.
Just because it's amazing and it's lovely and it makes me feel fuzzy.
Okay. So it makes, I believe you rated The Notebook higher than this. So does that stand to reason?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
okay.
The Notebook
just wanted to check.
Makes me bawl my eyes out.
Okay. That's good, is it?
That shows it's got the emotional,
yeah. It doesn't make you cry.
No.
It's just enjoyable.
Just enjoyable and fuzzy and light-hearted, and you can put it on the background and just watch it, and it's nice.
Yeah. If you're doing anything else, and
you can, and you still know what's going on.
Yeah.
Whereas The Notebook, I feel like you've got to concentrate a little bit more and cry your eyes out. You need
a little bit more to that, I suppose. But yeah. Okay. That's I'll accept that it is your birthday, and I did think you were going to put it on at 8-ish or coming on a 9, I suppose. So, yeah.
Are you happy with my score for my best friend's wedding?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I know her was the least, but it was like 7.5, 8, 9.
Yeah.
And I went up in scores instead of going down.
I didn't go down, did I? Just on the level for 2 of them. I know that's not true, is it? No, sorry.
No, you went 6.5 and 7.
Yes, I went woo. Yeah, bit of a ramp, but it's just how. Sorry.
Well, I enjoyed my birthday special, and I hope the listeners enjoyed it. I don't care what Paul thinks.
No. Yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the picks that we picked, or Sophie picked.
I was going to say me. Don't take credit for it.
Well, one of them was sort of mine, semi-mine, but thank you for your time, and if you'd like to check out all our other episodes, including any previous birthday ones, you can find them on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean, and wherever else you might get your podcasts from. And, of course, we are on the social media platforms of Instagram and Twitter under the handle SP_filmviewers. And lastly, any 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts or Podchaser be greatly appreciated. And if you're feeling very, 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 very generous for this little lady's birthday, you can donate some monies to the Buy Me a Coffee page.
Or Buy Me a Cake page. Is that not a thing? No?
Well, money goes to whatever you want, just for a little spending money. for her for the star of the show.
Aww. Well redeemed, Paul.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, only fair to say that you kind of deserve a lot of the credit really for what we do on the show, really, because the show wouldn't be anything without you. So
thank you, but the show wouldn't exist if you didn't edit it all. So swings and roundabouts.
Yeah. So thank you very much again for listening, and we will speak to you next time.
Thank you so much for listening. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I did, and we'll speak to you next time.
Bye now.
Bye.
Bye.